Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are continuing the story of the defamation case between Ben Roberts and the media outlets. So we have another affidavit to read, and this is from person 17, who is filing this affidavit because they want to remain anonymous and they want to tell the court why they want to be anonymous. So we're going to find a lot of lots of redacted information here. So this is the affidavit. So remember, we're back in 2018. This is how long the case has been going for. Okay, so there's 3 cases this affidavit is for. So it's from the Federal Court of Australia, the New South Wales Registry, but the applicant, and again, it's all been redacted. They've even taken out the lawyer's signature and the name, so that they're harder to find. And they're all the exhibits again. So the purpose of the affidavit. I am referred to as person 17 in the defence statement of claim filed by the respondents on the 9th of October 2018. I make this affidavit in support of an application for the suppression of information that identifies or tends to identify me and my children in connection with these proceedings. The grounds for this application is that I am concerned for my safety and that of my children should our identities be revealed. The basis for that fear is set out below. Between 13th of October 2017 to the 5th of April 2018, I had an intimate relationship with the applicant, Ben Roberts-Smith. On March 28, 2018, during an argument, Ben punched me on the left side of my face with his right hand. I spoke to the police about the assault. This is the act of domestic violence referred to in the article dated the 11th of August 2018, which Ben has sued over in these proceedings. I have given the police photographic evidence of the black eye I suffered as a result of the assault and a series of telegram messages from the day after the assault in which Ben is coaching me how I should explain that black eye to my husband. Redacted. Copy of series of telegram messages. At all times, I advised the police that I did not wish to make a formal police complaint, which then proceeds to the court. I do not wish for a police complaint to proceed to court, as I'm generally scared about the safety and that of my children if I'm identified in the media, as discussed further below. I understand from media reports that the police are currently not pursuing an investigation with respect to the information I have provided to them about the assault. I believe that the position of the police is a result of me not wanting to formalise the complaint, which may see the matter proceed to court, as I am scared for my safety and that of my children if I am identified. Identity not widely known. Ben and I were both married during the course of the relationship. We took many steps to keep it a secret. Ben used a temporary burner mobile phone, which he changed often. I recorded his number in my phone under either assumed names or names of friends. We exchanged messages using the encrypted WhatsApp and Telegram applications. We also used a Gmail account, which we could both log into and would leave emails in drafts there for others to read. As redacted, as far as I know, at the moment, very few people, apart from the parties to these proceedings, know that Ben and I were having an affair and would therefore be able to work out that I am the person who claims to have been assaulted by him on the 28th of March 2018. To the best of my knowledge, those people are my husband, Ben's wife and mother-in-law, legal advisors in this case, a close friend in whom I confided, a very senior military official, ranking military official, police officers whom I spoke to about the assault. Despite being very secretive, it seems that some people have still been able to find out who I am and harass me and my family. In early June and July 2018, I became aware of the newspaper articles that I now know Ben has sued over in these proceedings. On around the 8th of July 2018, I became aware that Ben had been publicly named as one of the people investigated in the Breteton inquiry. On or around the 9th of July 2018, my husband received a phone call at his office. He told me that the caller sounded like a woman, but she would not identify herself. He told me she said she was a friend of Ben and Emma's and was asking questions about our marriage, whether we were still together, what he knew about our affair or not. My husband hung up. On Sunday the 15th of July 2018, I received an anonymous email from a Gmail account, which appeared to belong to a person called R. Reyes. I do not know anyone of that name. The email contained links to the Facebook page of a Channel 7 show called The Great Day Out, which on the 15th of July featured Ben as a family man and mental health advocate. The text of the email to me states, so it wasn't true. Talking yourself up really is a poor way to get attention. I did not understand what the purpose of the email was, but I felt disturbed for having received it. I felt like a person who did not know me was somehow accusing me of lying or seeking attention. I felt confused, scared, and vulnerable. Exhibited here too and marked is a copy of the email I received on the 15th of July 2018. I am worried that if people were to find out who I am, access my contact details, and harass me and my husband before my name was even publicly linked to Ben, the affair and the assault, the levels of harassment after my name becoming public will be extreme. I have read a number of media reports say witnesses have received threats from SASR members in relation to giving evidence against Ben. On around the 14th of June 2018, I read an article in the Sydney Morning Herald that referred to a suspected mafia-style plot by a small number of Special Forces soldiers to threaten, intimidate witnesses, assisting an inquiry into war crimes. The article said that a key inquiry witness and member of the Special Air Force Regiment was sent a letter earlier this week threatening retaliation if they did not recant his testimony to an inquiry led by the New South Wales Supreme Court Judge Paul Brereton. More recently, in September, I read another article in the Sydney Morning Herald, which was reported that a second threatening letter was sent to the Perth headquarters of the Special Air Service Regiment, warning against helping a Defence Inspector General inquiry into allegations of misconduct and war crimes by Australian soldiers in Afghanistan. Here too are marked are copies of the articles I refer to. Having read the reports I refer to, I became very fearful that once my name becomes public, I will be targeted by the people within the SASR and the military generally who support Ben. In addition to their physical capabilities, my relationship with Ben has made me aware of the skills that SASR operatives have, which enable them, for example, monitor phone calls and email and track individuals. I am so worried that this will happen to me or my children once my name comes out. From August 18, 2018, when the initial article was the subject of these proceedings was published, I also noted that there was a lot of vitriolic and concerning comments made on the internet by people supporting Ben. On around the 25th of September 2018, I became aware of another article published online by The Australian, which stated the investigation into the police complaint had been dropped as there was insufficient evidence to proceed with any charge. A copy of the article is attached. When articles discussing domestic violence allegations were published, I saw that they were linked to various pages on Facebook and other internet forums, which allowed users to make comments. Some of the concerning comments were exhibited here too and marked is a copy of a photograph I took of a Facebook page. It said, "Into Allah and a pots times 3 on a lousy, filthy accusers and their families. Shame, shame, shame on you." And another one says, "False allegations in DV cases must be identified and punished." Here is another one. Exhibited here too is a photograph I took of a Facebook page. They should be naming the woman now. She needs to live with the consequences of false allegations. Here is another exhibit. Why isn't the skank on charges for wasting taxpayers' money? This almost justifies a touch of violence against some of the low-life leftards in the media for the slur they intended. Shouldn't someone have their socks sued off for this? Sue them, then kill them. So this posts a picture of an actor preparing a gun to be shot with the comment, "Me when anyone insults our prophet Ben Robert Smith." Here's another one. First a fair trial, then shoot 'em. The people behind this smear should be exposed and hung, drawn and quartered and hounded out of whatever the position they hold, are nothing more than cowards. Here is another one that says, money grabbing slag. Reading those comments, these disturbing comments, especially sue them, then kill them, and why isn't the skank on charges for wasting taxpayers' money? And false allegations in DV cases must be identified and published, as well as suggestions of acts of physical violence frightened me. I felt sick with worry, panicked, and like I was a target. When I read those comments on the internet, I felt like there were men out there who felt that they had been wrongly accused of domestic violence and were angry because they thought I had done the same thing to a man they really admired. All of these comments made me fearful, as there seems to be some substantial public reaction of wanting to punish and jail someone who some members of the public assume is lying and trying to bring down a hero. So they've redacted, of course, contact details, the name on the electoral roll. So all of this is redacted, of course, because she's wanting to be kept safe. I'm obviously most concerned about the physical and mental state of my children, who are still very young. The prospect of my identity being revealed is making me extremely anxious, to the point where I suffer panic attacks. These are triggering, particularly when I see new reports in the media and social media comments about domestic violence incident or threats being made to witnesses. I do not sleep well and have been taking prescription medication to help me sleep. I feel emotionally fragile a lot of the time. I cry most days and I'm anxious about what is going to happen next. When I go out, I often feel paranoid, as though people are looking at me and talking about me. My grave fear is that if my name and identity is revealed, I will be subject to harassment and vitriol by people who support Ben and think I am a lying woman trying to bring down a war hero. This makes me feel physically and mentally unsafe. Given the level of distress I feel now, I am frightened that if my name and identity are revealed, I will become too scared to leave my house and will not be able to function day to day. I'm afraid that people will approach me, write me letters, phone me constantly, and otherwise try to contact me. So I will have to try and isolate myself. I do not want to risk being approached or harassed when I'm out with my children, as I do not want them to be exposed to this. I do not know how I'm going to be able to be with my children and participate in their lives if I cannot go out in public. So they've taken out her signature, and so now we're up to the affidavit, the exhibits. Let me just say that is a pretty scary prospect. I couldn't imagine being in a situation where you're reading articles and you really don't want your name to get out because of fear. I think it's quite scary. So that's been redacted, of course. So this is a chat message. So it says, Rob Smith, I hope your head feels okay. Are you leaving soon? You, thanks. It's actually killing me. I feel awful. I bored in half an hour. I made the doctor's appointment for this afternoon. I spoke to Jet and sent him a photo. He reacted exactly how you predicted. I think he believes me, but is a bit skeptical. Rob, I thought he would. What did you say? Rob, does he think I did it? You, yeah, he did to begin with, and he didn't believe that I'd fallen downstairs. I just told him what we talked about. Rob, did you say I was there at all? No, I said I caught up with you earlier in the week, but you had to go away for work. I was really worried I was by myself all night after such a bad fall and can't understand why I didn't call him or someone else for help. Rob, just say you didn't realise until you wake up as it has swelled. Also say you were embarrassed to call him. You, yeah, I said that last night. I thought it was only a bit swollen up when I knocked it, so I put some ice on it, fell asleep, not realising until this morning how serious it was. I've some other bruises, including a massive one on my thigh on the same side of my body, which will hopefully make the falling story more believable. I think having my period will also work in my favour in terms of convincing him I wasn't with you. Okay, so this is the so it wasn't true. Talking yourself up really is poor way to get attention. So there. And then this is the article. Police clear VC hero Ben Robert Smith of domestic violence claim. So this article reads, police have dropped an investigation into allegations that Australia's most decorated war hero, Ben Robert Smith, committed an act of domestic violence against an unnamed woman, concluding there was insufficient evidence to proceed with any charge. 6 weeks after Mr. Robert Smith was named in media reports as being the subject of a domestic violence complaint, ACT have written to him to advise he has no case to answer. In a letter dated 21st of September and addressed to Mark O'Brien, Mr. Robert Smith, lawyer, ACT Chief Police Officer Justine Saunders said the police had looked into the allegation and were taking no further action. I write to inform you that the ACT Police has undertaken an investigation of the allegation and has concluded, on the basis of available information, that there is insufficient evidence to support any prosecution, Ms. Saunders wrote. Consequently, ACT policing will not be taking any further action in respect of this matter. The letter is the latest instalment in what has been a murky investigation into Mr. Robert Smith's personal life and military service record, one that has played out in the pages of newspapers and courtrooms. Mr. Robert Smith has blamed a small group of disgruntled SASR troopers for running a malicious whispering campaign against him. Last month, he instructed his lawyers to begin defamation proceedings against Fairfax Media after it published a magazine article accusing him of assaulting detainees while a trooper in Afghanistan, bullying fellow soldiers, and committing an act of domestic violence against a woman with whom he had been in a relationship. The story said Mr. Robert Smith had an extramarital affair with the woman, who subsequently made a complaint following an alleged incident at a Canberra hotel. The incident was said to have occurred on March 28 following a function at Parliament House. Mr. Robert Smith denied the allegation, saying Fairfax misrepresented the facts surrounding the relationship, which he said had not been an extramarital affair. Mr. Robert Smith said the relationship began while he was separated from his wife and ended when the pair reconciled. He said the woman, who was not named, became heavily intoxicated during the event and fell down the stairs while he was summoning a car to leave. He said she sustained an injury to her head and was assisted by AFP officers on the ground of the building. Well, AFP officers on guard around the building. When I got there were two federal police officers. They were basically holding her up. She had a huge lump on the top of her head and what appeared to be a scrape on the top of the eye. And she said she had a sore hip, Mr. Roberts told the Australian last month. Yesterday, Mr. Robert Smith took aim at Fairfax for running the allegation. My wife and I were devastated to have Fairfax misrepresent our personal circumstances, he told the Australian. To so blatantly disregard due diligence and report on such a flippant allegation is just disgraceful. Mr. Robert Smith said he was not interviewed or contacted by police about the alleged incident, and a fact that spoke volumes about the credibility of the claim against him. Mr. Robert Smith is Australia's most decorated living soldier, having won the Medal for Gallantry in 2006 and the Victoria Cross for heroism in Afghanistan in 2010. He is now the Managing Director of Seven's Network Queensland Operations. So now we've got a Facebook post here that she's taken. Some of these here. Long live Ben and family, and a pox 3 times over on the lousy, filthy accusers and their family. Shame, shame, shame on you. And here's another one. Females who lie should face criminal charges. When will Australia adopt a justice system as opposed to a legal system? And the woman was not named is another comment. So here it is again. Poor guy, just another case where a man has a bad rap for no reason. The Family Law Act and its derivatives that allow and enable women to knowingly make false allegations without penalty are not a joke. They are a disgrace, an opportunity for any woman who chooses to legally lie to the court. This legal inadequacy is so well known within women's networks that is taught and used as a political power weapon. The DV family courts are now being blatantly used for gender political purposes. The effects of this disgrace reach very widely and deeply through the Australian communities, which depends heavily on a stable, secure families to contribute to community well-being. False allegations in DV cases must be identified and punished. Genuine equality demands this. So this is another one. So yeah, why isn't the skank on charges for wasting taxpayers' money? Media should hang their heads in shame. Aren't they a disgraceful pack of hyenas trying to disrespect one of our greatest men? Hold your head high, soldier, and ignore the left-wing lowlifes. It should never have happened. They're just a bunch of expletives, and now Ben has a question mark over his head, over his name, that he should not have. Thanks heavens for that. You should never have come to this in the first place. Go for the jugular, sir, in retaliation. Thank you for your service. Money-grabbing slag. Not just the media, the disgruntled wannabe SAS cats who couldn't make it and didn't want to bring who couldn't make it and want to bring down those that can, sue them and kill them. To all weak adult children, don't ever attack this hero. You won't beat the country's public who admire him and are a grateful true hero. Disgusting reporting. How dare they do this to our hero? Me when someone insults our prophet, Ben Roberts-Smith. Here we go again, tall poppy syndrome. Here's some more comments. The leftards have no shame. It's time to round them up and make them disappear. They are occurs in our country. First a fair trial, then shoot them. Don't need to worry about that. Always have a quiet chuckle that they will be the first ones rounded up when they achieve their aim. This one was the people behind this smear should be exposed and hung, drawn, quartered, and hounded out of whatever position they hold. They are nothing more than cowards. Seems like socialists are really pushing their luck. At the moment, the squibs are controlling the show. So here's a close-up of the ones we just read before. Sue them, then kill them is there. And this is all redacted. So this is a white pages search. Again, it'll be redacted. More redacted. So this is an online article. Witness at war crimes inquiry subject to mafia-style threats. And these are the two journalists that are being sued as well. So it's a very long article. It says, comes as Fairfax as part of a 6-month investigation and covers the first corroborated claims that a small number of members from a rogue SAS, Australian Special Air Force Regiment Patrol, were involved in summary execution of unarmed detainees in Afghanistan. And then Commission Consultant Samantha Convierts to interview SASR and commandos inside to gather accounts of wrongdoing. That report prompted the ongoing inquiry by the Inspector General of the Australian Defence Force, led by Justice Brereton. So this is another online article. So about the second threatening letter. So this one is the one that went to Perth. So they're launching an investigation. And that is Person's 17 affidavit. Is there a reason for Person 17 to be kept anonymous? And in light of what Person 17 has said, what we know from Person 17, we know that the defamation includes this reporting of this DV case. Does Person 17 help Fairfax Media claim that it was truthful? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And I'll have another part to this saga shortly. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button, particularly if you want to just keep finding out what's going on. There's lots of court documents. So we're still into 2018. As I said, the last matter went to court, or there was a judgment just a couple of days ago on the 21st of April. So we've got a long way to catch up. It's been going on for a very long time. These defamation cases are a long time, and we've got lots of different, there's so much different parts to this. I mean, what happens if they get truth? And remember that I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just reading this as we're seeing it. Okay, so the next document is a report for an expert witness that has been, the document was prepared by, was requested by the respondent side, so Fairfax Media, and we've got an expert witness, and then we've got some judgments to talk about. Then we've got more affidavits, some more judgments to where we are now. So we're quickly catching up. So once we've done this expert report, we then hit 2019. There's a few judgments. The Commonwealth of Australia puts in an application. We've got some affidavits, one from the Inspector General of the Australian Defence Force, some more, and then we hit 2020, and then we've got some more judgments. So we're coming up to 4 years, and we've really not got very far. So thank you for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this, and yes, so we'll see what the expert witness has to say next time. Thank you.